for the people, there's a lesson that was taken down when our channel was deleted that I felt was very important and very spiritual for Israel, okay? And it's also a mystery in the Bible. So I wanted to make sure that I had to find the right time to do it, and there's no better time when we got y'all captive here with us, all right? You can't get away. So we're going to learn tonight. This lesson is called The Lights of Genesis, all right? The brothers that's trying to join the camp, y'all should definitely have your pens and papers out because you need these precepts, okay? If you are anybody else that's marking their books, the title of the lesson is The Lights of Genesis, okay? So with that, we're going to begin. I want y'all to open to Genesis chapter 1. Do the readers have microphones? Check your microphone. This is not easy to teach. Y'all going to have to read very clear, okay? All right? Let me see some more light. It's blocking. Well, illuminate the candle. Yeah, light the candle. Yeah, they need to use. Can't do it. It's too much wind coming off that water.
How is I turn this down?
It's too much wind coming off the water. I got you. All right, so I'm gonna have to put a lot of scripts to make this point. It's not marked up for it, so I'm gonna have to hunt some of them down. So it's gonna take a lot of cooperation. All right. Now, there's a certain mystery in the scriptures that a lot of Christians overlook, and it is the creation of the light. That's why when we did the prayer at the beginning, we thanked the Most High for the light. But what was we really thanking the Most High for when we thanked Him for the light? Okay, was we thanking Him for the sun to shine? Partially, but there's also another light in the Bible. All right, light has many metaphorical purposes in the scripture. So what I want brothers to do is I want them to read Genesis chapter 1 and start at verse 1. Okay, and I want you to read that on down. All right, and read loud and clear so the people understand.
This is the book of Genesis chapter 1 and verse 1. In the beginning, God created heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void.
Come on.
And darkness was upon the face of the deep.
Read that part again. From the beginning.
And the earth was without form and void. And darkness was upon the face of the deep.
I want y'all to remember that and tuck that into your mind. Why did the Most High say the earth was without form and void? See, Genesis is the first book you read in the Bible, and it's one of the hardest books to understand. Why did He say the earth was without form and void? What do you mean the earth was without form? Was it a ball of smoke? Was it clay? This is where your theories come in. This is where people start using their imagination and trying to understand. Okay? But no, precept upon precept. That's how we get understanding. Didn't David say, through thy precepts I get understanding? So there's a biblical explanation for everything that's being written. Okay? Read on.
And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters.
Now when you go into the Hebrew, the word for water is the same word for heaven. Shemayim. Hashemayim. It's the same word, right? Waters and heaven. It's the same word. So when people say that there was water above the firmament, they speak in English. But when you speak in Hebrew, it's the same word. There was heavens above the heavens. The translators put water. That's their choice. But y'all understand the Hebrew just now. You just learned something. The same word for heaven is water. All right? Read on.
And God said, let there be light.
And
there was light.
Spoken into existence. Read on.
And God saw the light.
And
that it was good.
And He saw the light and it was what?
Good.
Read.
And God divided the light from the darkness.
Now, God saw the light and said it was good. Just tuck that into your memory bank. Because we're going to have to revisit that. He saw the light. That's the first thing he commended. He said, this is good. I like this. Right? But there's an issue. Read on.
Come. And God, Salakia, verse 5. And God called the light day.
And
the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day.
And the evening and the morning were the first day. So you thinking the Most High just made the sun and the moon and the stars. Is that what he made? Read verse 15. Verse 14.
Verse 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament.
Now wait a minute. God already said let there be light. But what did he say this time? Read it.
Khan. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night.
Wait a minute. We already divided day from night.
Right.
We did that already. In verse 5, he said God called the light day and he called the darkness night. So then why are we dividing the day from the night again? Why are we making light again? Nope, the first page of the Bible. And ain't nobody noticed that. Just skim right past that. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Read through the scriptures. Okay. Oh, now God about to make Adam and Eve. Now this is deep. I want to understand this. Wait a minute. You missed this. So he separated night from day twice? That don't make no sense. Of course it makes sense. You got to search it out. Read on.
And let them, Salakia, and let them be for signs and for seasons.
Come on.
And for days and years.
Come on.
And let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven. To give light upon the earth. And it was so.
And it was so. I thought we already gave light to the earth. And it was good. Let's get a different account. Give me 2nd Ezra chapter 6. Maybe we didn't read this right. And we need another author to explain to us the Genesis. Yep. 2nd Ezra chapter 6. Maybe Ezra's got to explain it to us. Start at verse 38. Read it clear and good. Y'all pass the mic between readers.
Verse 30, 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 38.
Come on.
And I said, O Lord, thou spakest from the beginning of the creation, even the first day, and saidest thus, let heaven and earth be made. And thy word was a perfect work.
Come on.
And then was the spirit and darkness.
There was the spirit and what?
And darkness.
There was the spirit and there was darkness. Ezra just told you something. Read on.
And silence were on every side.
Come on.
The sound of man's voice was not yet formed.
And there was no man yet. But there was a spirit and then there was darkness. Hey, wouldn't that be obvious if there was no light? But as Ezra's talking about brightness and dimness, is he talking about how much visual light is out here? Is that what he's talking about? Read on.
Verse 40. Then commandest thou a fair light to come forth of thy treasures.
Commanded what?
A fair light to come forth of thy treasures.
And?
That thy work may appear. Might appear, Salakia. Upon the second day thou madest the spirit of the firmament, and commanded it to part asunder, and to make a division between the waters, that he, Salakia, that the one part might go up, and the other remaineth beneath.
See that? But I just told you that water is the same word for water, is the same word for heaven. It's the same word. There's a heaven above and there's a heaven below. Not necessarily there's actual H2O water above and H2O water below. There's a division between levels of existence. Every level is a plane of existence. There's a spiritual realm and there's a physical realm. And both are a form of heaven. Below there's a heaven, and above us there's a heaven. And it's spiritual to understand it. But you got to know that the same word for water is the same word for heaven. So when the translators are translating it, they put in water because yes, that word means water, but is it talking about carnal water? These are things that are not being taught to our people, and we are forced to do our best to understand it, right? But one thing I wanted you to notice was he commanded a fair light to come forth. And then it says, later, he made a divide between the firmaments, right? Now I want to see if Esdras goes into
45.
Yeah, read it.
45. Upon the fourth day, thou commandest that the sun should shine.
Wait a minute, but he already commanded a fair light to shine. But now he's commanding the sun to shine. So did the Most High make light twice in both books? These are things you got to think about because it means something. It's and the first light, the Most High, it came from out of his treasures. Something we gotta consider. So now we got Esdras and we got Moses telling us the same story, right? And they both speaking on it the same way, and neither one of them did yet elaborate. Well, what's the difference between the lights? Okay. Go to Proverbs 3:19. Canal called it.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, and verse 19. The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth. By understanding have he established the heavens.
By wisdom he founded the earth. And by understanding he established the heavens. There had to be a divide in the heavens first. But before he even made that divide, he had to set up wisdom in the earth. Y'all don't understand? Y'all don't understand. Read it again.
The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth, but by understanding hath he established the heavens.
When it took understanding to cause the sun to shine, to cause the moon to give light at night. So understanding had to come here. Read it one more time.
The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth.
When he founded the earth, remember it said that the earth was void and without form. So he had to give it a foundation. He had to give it substance first. Had to come into the earth. Then, once that substance came into the earth, he established the heavens. Y'all don't understand what I'm talking about. Give me the Lord's light in Proverbs. We read that all the time. Pull that. Proverbs. Bring it out. Give me Psalm 111 and 10. What's wisdom, knowledge, and understanding? What is that?
Fear the Most High.
We're gonna see. Read Proverbs.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light.
The law is light. So one of the definitions of light is it's the law. And the commandment is a lamp. We just thank the Most High for the lights. We bless the lights, right? But was we blessing carnal light? What was we really thanking the Most High for?
Wisdom.
Say it again? For the law. But what is the law?
Wisdom.
Prove it.
Psalms 111 and 10.
Read Psalms 111. And then you get Proverbs 3 and 19 and hold it. Somebody read it.
The book of Psalms, chapter 111, verse 10.
Come on.
For the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. But how do you fear the Lord?
Keep his commandments.
What is his commandments? The law.
Khan.
It's like a big puzzle. You understand? Read it again.
The book of Psalms 111, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. The first thing he created was light. Read Psalms 3:19 again. Somebody supposed to be holding that. Proverbs
3:19.
Quick on the sword.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, and verse 19. The Lord by wisdom have founded the earth.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void.
Precept.
No. You know the answer. We studied it. We're going to walk them through it, just like I walked y'all through it. Wisdom is the fear of the Lord. And all those who have a good understanding keep the commandments, right? Proverbs 3:19 again.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, and verse 19.
Solomon sat on a high chair. All the kings of the earth was around him, looking at his glory, admiring all of his wives, and admiring all of his servants. But they was really there to hear what he was going to say. And the Bible tells you he had thousands of songs, and he had thousands of proverbs. And the wise men from all the other nations came just to listen, to decipher it. He wasn't explaining it. He was just saying things. Look, yet a little sleep, yet a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall poverty come as an armed man. He ain't explaining it. You got to think about it. You got to write that down and read it 4 or 5 times. A little bit of sleep, a little bit of slumber, another folding of the hands, and my poverty is going to come. If I'm lazy, I'm going to be poor.
You don't put no work in it.
And my poverty is going to come like an armed man, meaning it's going to sneak up on me and take me. Oh, that's how people was understanding Solomon when he was teaching. He wasn't sitting there breaking it down. He'd get tired of saying Proverbs. He'd get off the judgment seat and go to his chamber. That's it. Come back tomorrow. Proverbs 3:19.
The Lord by wisdom have founded the earth.
It took wisdom to found the earth. And what?
By understanding hath he established the heavens.
And with understanding he established the heavens. That means the heaven above and the heaven below. It took understanding to make that. Well, wait a minute. Now we need to understand something. How was everything made? Go to Colossians 1:15. We got to piece it together because they not giving us the jewels. All we know that in the beginning that the Lord founded the earth, it was through wisdom. We know that wisdom and knowledge and understanding is keeping the commandments. We know that the law is light. We know that he made light twice. We got to break this down. Colossians 1:15.
Okay. It's the book of Colossians, chapter 1 and verse 15. Who is the image of the invisible God? The first.
Read up above it.
Okay. In whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins.
Who are we talking about? Yahweh Shai. Right? Read.
Who is the image of the invisible God?
He's the image of the Most High. Come on.
The firstborn of every creature.
He was the firstborn of every When you say firstborn of every creature, every living thing that existed, he was the first made. Remember that. Come on.
For by him were all things created.
For by him were all things created. And?
That are in heaven. And that are in earth.
By understanding, he established the heavens. Read.
Visible and invisible.
Everything, come on.
Whether they be thrones or dominions.
Kingdoms, rulerships. He made all that. Come on.
Or principalities or powers.
Come on.
All things were created by him.
All things were created by Christ. If I was to tell you that Christ made the earth, people would lose their mind. No, you don't know the Bible. God, in the beginning, God created it. No, the Bible just told us that Christ made everything. And nothing was made that was not made through him. Solomon told you, wisdom founded the earth, and understanding established the heavens. Now y'all got a whole plate full of puzzle pieces. And now you got to link them nice together to make a bigger picture. Read on.
And for him
Come on.
And he is before all things.
And he is what?
Before all things.
Christ was before all things. Come on.
And by him all things consist.
And by him all things consist. Don't the heavens and the earth consist? Don't they exist? But didn't Solomon tell you that the heavens and the earth was created through wisdom and understanding? Give me John 1 and 1. Read.
It's the book of John, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Come on.
In the beginning was the Word.
Wait a minute. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. In the beginning, everything was founded through wisdom, and then the heavens was created through understanding in the beginning. But the Bible just told you in the beginning what?
In the beginning was the Word.
And
the Word was with God.
And
the Word was God.
A lot of Christians lose their mind right there. That means Christ got to be God. You don't understand the word God. Just like the word heavens has meanings, God has meanings. And when you read in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, you don't see Yahweh right there. You see Allahayim. That means the Most High generally. Give me that in Sirach. You know what I want? Call it.
Sirach 18 and 1.
Read.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 18, verse 1.
What does it say?
He that liveth forever created all things in general.
God is he that liveth forever. He created all things in general. Why is that written? Because that's another puzzle piece. Because what I'm telling you right now is Christ made the earth and the heavens. So then that means God didn't make the earth and the heavens. But Sirach cleared that up. Read it again.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 18, verse 1. He that liveth forever created all things in general.
In general. So if look, if God made the person who made the thing, didn't God make the thing? He did it in general. Read this again. John 1 and 1.
In the beginning was the Word.
Come on.
And the Word was with God.
Come on.
And the Word was God.
Come on.
The same was in the beginning with God.
The same was in the beginning with God. The first creation. Read.
All things were made by him.
All things were made by him. Again. Read on.
And without him was not anything made.
And without him nothing was made, because the heavens were established through understanding. So, but in the beginning, the world was void without form. What do that mean? We got to go back and revisit that. Get your precept. You know what I want? Jeremiah 4 and 22. What's the opposite of wisdom? Stupidity. Madness in the earth. Nonsense. No law, no righteousness to go forward. The place was void and without form. That doesn't mean that the earth was a puff of smoke and the Most High had to mold it. He could do that if he wanted, but is that what he's teaching us?
Precept.
What you want?
Psalms 33 and 6.
Let him read that first.
There's a book of Psalms, chapter 33, verse 6.
What'd I say?
By the word of the Lord were the heavens made.
Oh.
And all the hosts of them by the breath of his mouth.
What's the breath? That wisdom. So Solomon, Ezra, Moses, and David all saying the same thing. Read what you got. Jeremiah 4 and 22. We read this at camp all the time.
4 and 22.
Come on.
For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are Sodom's children, and they have none understanding.
There was no understanding in the earth. The earth was void and without form. Watch Jeremiah tell you. Read the next line.
Come. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge.
Read on.
I beheld the earth.
You beheld the what?
I beheld the earth.
And what was it?
And lo, it was without form and void.
Oh. Jeremiah understands Genesis 1. My people are wise to do evil, but they have none understanding. Through wisdom was all of this established. Through understanding was the heavens created. With all thy getting, get wisdom. That's the principal thing. But with all thy getting, get understanding. Christ made everything. Nothing was made without him. The word was, read it again. Psalm 33.
Yep.
God, I don't want to misquote it because David's better.
Book of Psalms 33 and 6.
Come on.
By the word of the Lord were the heavens made.
By the word of the Lord, the heavens were made. The word was with God. All things were created through him. And without him, nothing was made. See the puzzle pieces starting to fit?
God.
I beheld and the world was void and without form. But before he said that, he said, look at my people. They foolish. They got no understanding. They are without wisdom. They without light. They kind of understand. They don't really understand. Give me John 1, right? Now I want you to read verse 5. Start at verse 4.
The book of John, chapter 1 and verse 4. In him was life, and the life was the light of men.
And him was what?
And him was life.
And
the life was the light of men.
That was the light for men.
Of men.
That was the light for men. Read on.
Verse 5. And the light shineth in darkness.
And the light shined in the darkness. Come on.
And the darkness comprehended not.
And the darkness had no understanding. They could not comprehend.
That's Jake when you out there.
That's Jake when you out there showing him the scriptures, man. He don't understand. Give me Daniel 12 and 10.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 12 and verse 10.
What's it say?
Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly. And none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand.
My people is foolish. They are wise to do evil, meaning they're wicked. They have no understanding, because the wicked shall not what?
But the wicked shall do wickedly. And none of the wicked shall understand.
None of the wicked shall understand. Do y'all see the bigger picture? Is the puzzle starting to show you a little half an image? Give me go back to Genesis 1 and read 4 again.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 4. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness.
Read it again. I'm sorry, brother. I told you I had to get a lot of precepts.
Oh, the book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 4. And God saw the light, that it was good.
Yep.
And God divided the light from the darkness.
Now go to Romans 7 and 12. What did he say? He said he saw the light and it was what?
Good.
It was good, right? What does Solomon tell you? The law is light.
Right.
God saw the light and said what? It was good. What did Paul teach us? Romans 7 and 12.
This is the book of Romans chapter 7 and verse 12. Wherefore the law is holy. And the commandments holy. And just. And good.
Oh. Proverbs 24:16. We're getting all the precepts. Because through thy precepts we get what? Understanding. You don't gotta believe me. We're gonna show you all his precepts. Proverbs 24:16. Did not he just say that the law is holy and the commandment holy and just and good? And when the Most High made light in verse 4, he saw that and said this is good. Why he say that? Because the law is good. The law is light. Wisdom is light. Christ is the light of men.
got a precept.
Darkness and void is lacking understanding and being wicked.
Precept.
The wicked shall not understand. Nothing was made without Christ. Christ was the first creation. The first thing God made was the light. Did God make light twice? Or did he make something else? Read what you got.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 119, 105. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path.
And a light unto my path. Good precept.
I got a precept.
What you got?
This is the book of John, chapter 8, verse 12.
Come on.
Then spake Yahushua unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life.
That's good.
That go right back to
That go right back to Genesis.
John
that
8
again?
and 12.
Read Genesis.
John 8 and 12.
Read Genesis. Never read that.
All right, read the Genesis. Verse 4.
And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness.
Now read what you got.
Then spake Yahushua unto them, saying,
Call it so the people know where you at.
this is the book of John, chapter 8, verse 12.
Come on.
Then spake Yahushua unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life.
See that? Keeping the commandments is what? That's life.
That's life. Con.
All who come to it shall find life, and all who go away shall find death.
Con.
Those who don't want to do it are wicked. The wicked shall not understand. The wicked are walking in darkness. In the beginning, there was void and darkness. In the beginning, there was spirit and darkness. That's what Ezra said. What's the spirit? The words I speak to you, they are spirit. What's the word? The law. Whoa, see how it all linking up now? And these is not just cool scriptures anymore. They actually important pieces to the puzzle. Right. Proverbs 24:16.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 16.
Read.
For a just man falleth 7 times,
Come on.
and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief.
A just man, the law is just and holy and good. Right? See that division between the just and the wicked again? What the Bible teaching you? There's a divide between night and day. Is that night and day? Man. The Bible's an eloquent book, man. Give me Matthew 3 and 17. What happened when Christ got baptized? What the Lord say? Give me Matthew 3 and 17.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 3 and verse 17. And lo, a voice from heaven saying, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased.
And what does that mean? Read Genesis 1
good.
and 4 again.
God.
And God saw the light,
And
that the light was good.
this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. In other words, he saw Christ and said, this is good. My son, this is good. He's going to be holy. He is totally in tune with me. Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments going to come natural to him. He's going to be the light of the world. Y'all see what the Bible's teaching? The difference between night and day? Give me John 8.
Hey,
Go to-
Shalakia,
Go ahead.
Adawan, I think you should have read verse 16
Of
Matthew.
Go ahead.
3:16.
Read it.
It's the end part. Hey, it's the book of Matthew, chapter 3 and verse 16. And Yahushua, when he was baptized, went up straightway out of the water. And lo, the heavens were opened unto him. And he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and lightning upon him.
Con. But brother, I gotta stop you there. When it says it lighted upon him, that means it landed.
Okay, Con.
I see what you're saying there, but that's not what that meant. That's okay. That's that King's English. Lighting, he lighted upon his horse. You would say something like that. I mean, you got up on it. You landed on it. All right, so, but that's all right. Because the point was still made. The brother's just trying to seek further wisdom, which is good. All right, we commend that. The brothers that joined the camp, And you'll start to notice that they have a affinity for the Bible and they like to read and search the scriptures. So that's good. I'm not going to chastise them for that. That's good. Give me John 3:18.
It's the book of
Get Jeremiah 4:22. Somebody hold it again.
it's the book of John, chapter 3 and verse 18. He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God.
Right. Read on.
And this is the condemnation,
This is the condemnation. Watch this. Read.
that light is come into the world,
Light came into the world. Come on.
and men love darkness.
But men love darkness. Jeremiah 4:22. Now read it again.
Jeremiah chapter 4 and verse 22. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are Sodom's children.
They are proud. Sodom's children means like you tell a child, don't do that. I want to do that. Don't tell me no. That's a Sodom's child. Kind of proud and spoiled. That's Israel. That's how we're described. Keep the commandments. Come on, man. Can't keep those commandments.
613.
It's 613 of them. Meanwhile, you keep 64,000 laws in order not to be in jail.
Go to Proverbs 1:26.
Let them finish that and we go there.
For they have none understanding.
Come on.
They are wise to do evil.
They are wise to do evil. Why he said that? Read what you got in John again.
This is the book of John, chapter 8 and verse 12. Then spake Yahushua again unto them.
What was the brother holding there? The scripture that we just read before that. I'm sorry.
Start at 18 again.
Yeah. No. Start at 19.
It's the book of John, chapter 3 and verse 19.
Come on.
And this is the condemnation,
This is what's actually going to get you destroyed. Watch. Read.
that light is come into the world,
Light came into the world and
and men love darkness.
but men love darkness. What did Jeremiah say? My people are wise to do what?
Evil.
Men love darkness. Wise to do evil. Come on.
But to do good, they have no understanding. But to do good, they have no knowledge.
They have no knowledge of how to do what is right. And what is good? The law is good. They don't know how to keep my commandments. And they don't want to. But to do evil things, they versed in that. Men love darkness. This is the condemnation. So what can get you destroyed? Not keeping the commandments. Look how it was said, though, so poetically. Right? Read on. Jeremiah.
Verse 23. I beheld the earth, and lo, it was without form and void, and the heavens, and they had no light.
And they had no light. So that's what Jeremiah was teaching you when he called the people foolish. He was saying, y'all don't know nothing about keeping the commandments, man. You're going to be destroyed. This is the condemnation. Men love darkness. Wasn't Israel destroyed? Didn't Jeremiah say, yo, this is coming? Yep. I told you what happened last night. It ended like that. Because men love darkness. They was wise to do evil. The earth was without form. It was void. You know why it was without form? Because when God formed us, what image did he form us in? In his image, right? So if you're not carrying on like God, you're without form. You're formless. Void. Everybody understand and following this? Give me Matthew 6 and go to 21.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 21. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. The light of the body is the eye.
Wait, where your treasure is, your heart is there also. Is your heart is a muscle in your chest. All it do is pump blood. When the Bible talks about a heart, what is it talking about? Your mind. Your mind. Read it again with that understanding. Substitute heart for mind.
For where your treasure is, there your mind will be also.
Where your treasure is, that's where your thoughts are. But hold on. Go back to 2nd Esdras. And go back to verse 40. 2nd Esdras 6 and 40. Hold that. Go back to 2nd Ezra 6 and 40. Where your mind is, that's where your treasure is. Where was the Lord's mind? Read it.
It's the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 40.
Come on.
Then commandest thou a fair light.
What's that fair light? That law. That's good. Christ was the word that was with God. Where's the law found? In the word. What is the law? The word. Christ is the word. Christ is the law. Christ is, wait, we're gonna get it. Come on.
It's like, then commandest thou a fair light to come forth of thy treasures,
Come on.
that thy works might appear.
Where was the Most High's treasure at? With Israel. His mind was with us. He made the earth for whose sake? Why was this whole place formed for? For you. So he made Christ the first of all creation and fell back and let Christ take the driver's seat. That's why the Most High created everything in general. Because he just set up Yahushua. Said, I need all this work done. I need clouds, I need vapor to go up. I need rain to come down so the grass can grow. To process the carbon dioxide so there can be oxygen so the people can breathe, so that they can also get food from the earth, so that they can eat, so that they can live, so that they can serve me. This is gonna be complex. So when Christ was doing it, Yahushua was designing all of that. Most High just created the wisdom and made it perfect. From perfection, you can only get perfection. That's how this was all set up. That's why ain't no life nowhere else. It's only here. It's only dealing with us. That's how important you are. And of all the people, he chose one. So of all the life he made, there was only one group that was chosen. Y'all, that's how important you are. That's how special you are. All of this was done for you. But it had to be established. Yahushua did all that math. He figured all that out. He put the fish in the sea. Well, how are they going to live underwater? Oh, they need gills. Yahushua thought of that. Think about that stuff, man. What happened when it gets cold in the earth and it meets the heat? Oh, it makes pressure. What's that? That's going to make wind. What happened when the wind gets strong? That makes a storm. Yahushua thought of that. Right? He said, well, there's one water to drink, but there's one water that's going to sustain the earth. One got to be salt and one got to be pure. Can't drink salt water, but you need salt water for the nutrients and the minerals. That's pretty much the majority of water on the earth. The fresh water is very small compared to how much salt water. Yahushua thought of that. But then we need the water to back and not overtake the land, because the water is so powerful. I'm going to put the moon in the sky. The moon don't control the tides. Yahushua thought of that. That's why you only got one moon. You don't got 64 moons like Jupiter. You don't got 18 like Saturn. That's why Jupiter got storms going across it in a circle. It only take 9 hours for that giant planet to spin around. It take 24 hours for the Earth, which is 13 times smaller at the equator. Not 13 times in volume, just in width. The Earth take 24 hours to turn. The Earth is heavier than Saturn. These is things Yahushua thought of. I know y'all saying Joel going in outer space. But I'm telling you, man, I study this stuff not for my own wisdom, but to understand how dope Yahushua is and how awesome he is. And by understanding and lifting up Yahushua, you actually glorify the Most High. That's right. Because he created all things in general. So you know what he did? He sat on his throne. He commanded a light, a fair light from out of his treasures, out of his mind, out of where his heart was at, to shine and divide night from day. Because he was beholding the earth and all he saw was animals. Even though there was people. See, that's going to bug some people out. There was people before Adam and Eve. The Most High made people before that. Adam and Eve represent the chosen line. But there was already people in the earth. That's why when Cain got banished, he took a wife and there was already a city he could go to. Because there was other people out here. But when the Most High was looking at them, he saw void and darkness. They wasn't following no laws, statutes, and commandments. When you look at other civilizations, man, they be drinking blood, doing sacrifices, all types of weird stuff that ain't got nothing to do with the Most High. Where did they learn that? Because he never taught them. He taught you. All them other people eating bugs off their back in caves, drawing on the cave walls. That wasn't Israel. The Most High set y'all up right, and y'all instantly rose to power in the earth, man. I'm telling you, Israel's ascension was fast, but just how quickly they rose, they fell. And the earth has been out of course. The foundations of the earth have been out of course. Does that mean that the earth is leaning the wrong direction? No, y'all have not been put back into y'all rightful position. And all of this started with me just reading Genesis 1 and 4. The Most High made light twice. Well, let me go search and understand that. And that took me down a rabbit hole. And now I understood so much more about the Bible. Because really, it's about Christ. Everything is about him.
The volume of the book.
He comes in what?
The volume of the book.
The whole book is written about him. Because he is the book. That's the mystery in the dark sayings. It's all him. The wisdom that Solomon was speaking out of his mouth was Christ. Inspiration. Look at this. Go to Matthew 6 and go back there.
Can I precept that right quick?
Yes.
I was going to say Revelations 4 and 11.
Read.
Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created.
See that? And then brothers will read that and say, that means Jesus is God. But they don't have the level of understanding y'all have. Just in this few minutes we've been studying this. Y'all have no doubt in your mind that God did everything, but it was Christ that was actually the what do you call the brother that got to hold the blueprints, but he tell people to do it? What you call it?
The foreman.
The foreman. Yeah. So Yahweh is the foreman. And what's Christ?
The architect.
He's doing it.
Oh, my bad, Slakia.
Right?
He'd be the opposite. Yeah.
He got the hammer. He got the nails. He got the jackhammer. He got the concrete on the wall, making it smooth. Through wisdom, he did all that. Right? Everything you looking at, Yahweh set it up. The trees, from when you conceived in the womb, come from a cell, and you expand to a baby, Yahweh thought of that. Women walk around pregnant with a baby inside, yeah. Something simple as that, Yahweh thought of that. How babies gonna come into earth? Well, we can make them grow out the ground like a potato. You know, the angels is giving them ideas. We could send a stork and bring them in a stork. That's what Esau was thinking. And teaching to the kids. Yahweh was like, no, the baby's gonna be formed in the woman. I'm gonna give her a womb, and then she's gonna be close to the baby. You're gonna grow with her. You're gonna have a bond like that. And she's gonna bring the baby into the world. You're gonna be born into the world. No other king is gonna have an entry into the earth except like that. Right? That's scripture. That's wisdom of Solomon. Again, what happened when the women was disobedient? When Israel was disobedient, the women had birth pains. Yeah, that's a punishment. It wasn't designed like that. You look at you, not to compare our women to animals, but I don't think none of y'all simple like that. But we recording it, and the video might be seen, and the people out there might be simple, right? Not to compare women to animals, but if you look at the African Serengeti, the water buffalo dropped the baby, bow, right on the ground. The baby get up. Let's go, because lions is out here. Where was the pain? Where was the labor and the suffering for the animal? They just start licking the animal, lick the placenta off the animal, let's go. You good? Women's down up. Wow. But our women suffering to bring babies into the world. That Bible told you that was a punishment for our disobedience. C-section. Got to do all types of things so that they don't pass away. And the Bible, Paul also told you through their obedience, they'll be saved in childbearing. Because childbearing is dangerous. So through obedience, you also saving your life in childbearing. All of it's connected. And Yahweh thought of all of that. He thought of your punishments, diseases and all that. Right? I'm telling you, when you read the Bible, the angels and Yahweh and they discuss things. When you go to the book of Kings, Angels on the right-hand side, angels on the left-hand side. What y'all gonna do? One of the angels said, I'll be a lying spirit. And what did Yahweh say? All right, I like that. That's good. Go do that. The Christians out in the world can't understand that. But then when you read Solomon, he teach you that there's cruel messengers. There's evil angels when you read the book of Psalms.
That's right, too.
Right?
Spirits of vengeance.
Spirits of vengeance that please their maker. Yahweh thought of all that. And it was all to glorify the Most High. Silence will drive you crazy. Watch this. Silence will make you go crazy. It's something called an amniotic chamber. If you go inside there, you can hear your heart beating. And it'll cause psychosis. And you'll start banging on the door. You can't take it. You'll hear your food digesting in your stomach. You'll hear the natural processes going on in your body that you can never hear because there's ambient sound. Why you think you hear that at night? The crickets. So that you don't go crazy in the darkness, suffering like you in an amniotic chamber. Yahweh thought of that. That's why the animals sing praises to the Lord. Even the creatures praise the Most High. They make noises for you not to bug yourself out. All of it's balanced. Yahweh is that amazing of an architect, man.
That's lucky. He was that darkness in Egypt that can be felt.
Because when you can't hear, can't see your hand in front of your face, terror and dread, you could die from fear.
Yes.
Right? He uses that as a judgment against you. Everything has a purpose. Good point. And the Most High is the schoolmaster that Christ went to. All of this that he knows, the Most High gave him that power. Now go do it. I'm gonna make a chosen people. That's fine. I'm gonna call him Israel. Go ahead. I'm gonna wrestle with Jacob for him to earn the name. Watch. Jacob gonna wrestle with me all night. That's how powerful he is. Let's see. I'm gonna set up Moses. Watch. Out of all these people in Egypt, he's Israelite, but watch how powerful Israel is. He's gonna leave Egypt and go to be with his people, and I want you to help him free the people. Just help me make these miracles, Yahweh. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna give Moses power to open the Red Sea. Okay. I want you to close it behind him and kill all the Egyptians. Oh, fine. Right? Because the Most High already told you he's what with Yahushua? He's well pleased. Yahushua said, oh, the Israel don't listen to you. They worshiping other gods. I didn't foresee this because I gave them all the answers. But the heart of men is desperately wicked. I got to justify them. How you going to do that? I'm going to go die for them. Okay. And what happened when Yahushua said, wait a minute, can you pass this cup away from me? I know I signed up for this, but
hold up now.
Yo, this is real. These people are demons. What the Most High say? You got to do that. You was born to do this, and I know you can do this. And Christ did that, right? That's your king. When you get to the kingdom, I want to meet Sirach. I say that when I get to the kingdom, I want to sit with him and just hang around. I want to meet Solomon and hang around. You know, I would like to meet Moses and see what he's like. You know, I want to meet the famous men. You know, that's great. I want to meet one of my forefathers from Jerusalem. And I got the faith that I'm an Israelite, so my family go back there. Can you show me my land where our heritage was at? It'll probably be next to this brother. I always end up next to this brother, man. You know? Well, I want to see all that, but I want to meet Yahushua. But Yahushua is an austere man. Yahushua wasn't trying to meet nobody while he was on earth, man. He said, I'm going to go into this city, have no man know it. People don't leave me alone, right? Well, in the kingdom, what's going to happen? Nobody going to leave him alone.
I'm not. I'm like a little puppy.
Oh. You understand, y'all, man? What you say? You gonna be at the man door? You gonna be at his door, man. Sleeping on his doorstep. You know? I want to meet David. You understand? So, Christ even gave us things to look forward to. He thought of everything, right? That's why you got to be in tune with the scriptures. I learned all of this just by looking at the first page of the Bible. You brothers, y'all going to start reading this Bible for leisure. It's going to become your preoccupation. The scriptures say you should be preoccupied in prophecy. You don't know what the Most High going to show you. All right? Chris was watching me last week. The wind was blowing, and it was turning the Bible pages, right? And he was watching me watch that. And when it ended up blowing where it actually closed the whole book, and Chris was like, I saw what you was doing. I was waiting to see what page the Lord was going to stop it on, because was he trying to show me something? Are y'all even spiritual like that?
Yeah.
Don't be superstitious. Just be spiritual. The Most High is real, right? You got faith that he's real, right? So turn your antenna towards where you try to find him. Try to pick up his station. You understand? Where you was reading? We was in Matthew.
Matthew 6 and 21.
Read it again.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 21.
Come on.
For where your treasure,
And that's how we got here. Come on.
for where your treasure is, there your mind will be also.
Good reading. And Yahweh's mind was with us. Yahushai's mind was with us. Come on.
The light of the body is the eye.
But now we back to this light. The light of the body is the eye. What does that mean? Say it. Say it again. It's how you see. It's your lamp. Your eyes are your lamp of the body. What is the lamp of the person? A physical lamp. That's how a person sees. How does the body see? With the eyes. The eyes are the light of the body. Y'all follow the King's English? Read on.
If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light.
If you're single, if your eye is single, your body shall be full of light. I had people tell me this mean the pineal gland. This your third eye. See, this your house shot going into the third eye. You understand? Brothers, they never read no scriptures before, but they found something. And they go there. I know some Israelites that believe that. Like, is this talking about the third eye? But we know that light has a meaning. So we have a hint. We got a precept to use. What is the light? Proverbs 6 and 23.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse 23.
For the commandment is a lamp.
For the commandment is a lamp.
And the law is light. And reproof for instruction are the ways of life.
And reproof and instruction are the way of life. Instruction, when you read Proverbs chapter 1, is the law. That's instruction. And the commandment is a lamp. Well, if your eye is single, meaning you're focused, your whole body shall be light. In other words, your whole being shall be righteousness. That's all he was saying. He wasn't going into the third eye. No, some of that might be. The pineal gland might be a thing and requires further study, but that's not what's being said right here. He's saying if your eye is single, your whole body shall be full of righteousness. Come on. 23.
But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness.
But if your eye is evil, your whole body shall be full of darkness. But what is the difference between night and day? It's righteousness and wickedness. If your mind is evil, where thy treasures are, so is thy heart. If the things that you desire and want most are evil things, most likely you're going to be a wicked man. Because you're going to do anything to have that. But if the treasures are in heaven, don't the Bible say store up thy treasures in heaven? It's going to explain it, man. Go up to read verse 19, bro. Because I can't say it better than the scriptures.
Verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth.
Why?
Where moth and rust doeth corrupt.
Yeah, man, you could put silk in a box, seal the box, lock the box, open the box later, and they done eaten your garment. How? Because the Yahushua thought of that. They get in there. All right? It's an old experiment they used to do where they used to take a glass jar and put cheesecloth over the top and put some meat inside. And you know that meat will get maggots? And they will say, how? If there's the cheesecloth on top, nothing was able to get in there, but how did maggots get in the meat? Because what is maggots' purpose? To destroy rotting flesh, right? It shouldn't be. Yahushua thought of that. That's beyond Esau science in 2019. You don't know. Some of them think, is the maggots already in the meat?
I was just thinking that.
But then that don't make no sense.
The same thing happened with rotting flesh, like your own flesh. I've seen that in the hospital.
They get maggots.
They wrap it up tight and it's just rotting, and then you open it and he got maggots in that.
How?
Where did they come from?
Where did they come from? Yahushua thought of that. It's gotta be this way, because it's been designed that way. What you read in here is the same thing. You store up treasures in earth, they're gonna be corrupted, because it's designed that way. You understand? The treasures of earth are corruption. There's no good that can come from seeking out the treasures of this earth. It can't. If your only desire is to be a rich man, you can't even get in the kingdom. It's easier for a camel to push his head through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into a kingdom. How many rich men got the kingdom? Very few. Out of all the Israelites that existed, got Abraham was rich, Solomon was rich, he went off. David was rich and he went off. Moses was rich, but he had to leave his riches. And even Moses didn't get to see the promised land because of Israel foolishness. But I digress. Who else?
Job had to take his stuff.
Job was rich?
Yeah.
What did Job have to do before he even got to enjoy his riches finally? He had to suffer.
He had to endure.
How many men could endure Job's trial to get the riches that he was blessed with at the end? You know how many brothers would have cursed God and died, like his wife said? A lot of brothers would have cursed God and died, man. The hell is this? The dogs is licking me. All my family's dead, and I'm stuck with this evil woman. Kill me now, right? I got 3 people standing around me telling me how wicked I am. Kill me now. So it's easier for a camel to push through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into the kingdom. So Yahushua is telling you, don't lay up treasures on earth. Don't be that guy. Solomon taught you, do not toil to be rich. Cease from your own understanding. And that's the end of the proverb. What do that mean? I'm not supposed to try to get money? Solomon, you got money. Why did you say that? Can any brother break that down? Do not toil to be rich. Cease from your own understanding. What does that mean? It means the Most High gonna provide for you, dummy. Why you trying to do it? Just relax. You giving up your whole life trying to be a rich man. When the Most High, if he wants you to be rich, you gonna be rich.
Working yourself to death.
You work what?
Working yourself to death.
Because you think being rich is something you can do and control. When Yahushua designed this, it's a result of something you're supposed to be doing. It's not something you can force to happen. What happened when Jake wants to be rich? He go and sell drugs. He become a stick-up boy.
Fast life.
What's the result?
Your ass would.
What happened when Esau want to be rich? He steals and murders to be rich, right?
Lies are cheap.
Lies, yeah.
He has his reward. This is it. This world we have now. But is he gonna get the kingdom of God?
No.
Oh. Let's finish Matthew. Go to now go back to 23. 6 and 23.
23. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness.
Come on.
If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness?
And if the light of your body is wickedness, if wickedness is what your mind is on, how great is that wickedness? Because you're just going to magnify it. Everybody understanding? Read the beginning of the next verse. Watch this.
Verse 24. No man can serve 2 masters.
That's the point. No man can serve 2 masters. Your eye has to be single. Your mind has to be sold out for righteousness. You can't have your eye half darkness, half lightness. It half light, half darkness. They don't go like that. You can't serve two masters. Your eye has to be single, right? That's what the scriptures is trying to teach us. So when the Lord in the beginning made light, he set up wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. He created Yahushai first. So that John is justified when he says that he is the firstborn of all creation. That's John, right? Or is that Colossians 1 and 15? That he's the firstborn of all creation.
That's Colossians 1 and 15.
So Paul said that. What did John say? That
The word was with
he
God.
was in the beginning and he was with God.
Con.
And the word was God. And all things was made by him, right? So now that the scriptures make sense, only when you plug Yahushai in as that light. Do y'all understand? Which now justifies when Christ said what? I am the light of the world. So you understand? Genesis 1 and 4 is not the Most High making light and then later he makes light again. Genesis 1 and 4 is the creation of Yahushua. Everybody understand that?
I got a precept.
Go ahead.
This is Sirach, chapter 1. We could come down, but I want to read verse 5. Verse 4 and 5, if you don't mind. Wisdom has been created before all things,
See that?
and the understanding of prudence from everlasting. Verse 5. The word of God Most High is the fountain of wisdom,
Come on.
and her ways are everlasting commandments.
That's where wisdom springs from, the word. The word was with God.
Con.
In the beginning was the word. The law is holy, just, and good. God created that light and said, this is good. This is my son in whom I am well pleased because he's good. Christ is the light of Genesis. Does everybody understand?
Con.
Okay, Con. All right, go ahead and do your thing, boy. Right? Like the brother said. So with that, we're going to stop the lesson. We're going to get back to the fellowship. We're not going to anoint the people again. How you want to close it out, priest?